I just finished watching Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, and as my first venture into the Friday the 13th franchise, I have some mixed feelings about the film. While it has its entertaining moments, there are certainly some aspects that leave a lot to be desired. I'll be rating this film a solid 5 out of 10. First and foremost, let's talk about the story. While the idea of Jason Voorhees terrorizing the streets of Manhattan is an intriguing concept, the execution left much to be desired. The plot seemed rather disjointed, and the pacing felt a bit off. The movie takes too long to get to the actual Manhattan part, and when it finally does, it doesn't quite capitalize on the potential of its setting. The Big Apple becomes more of a background than a central element of the story, which is a shame considering the iconic status of the city. Now, let's move on to the characters. The cast of Friday the 13th Part 8 is your typical ensemble of horror movie archetypes, and unfortunately, they don't offer much in terms of depth or development. The characters are mostly forgettable, and their motivations and decisions often feel forced or illogical. However, it must be said that Kane Hodder's portrayal of Jason Voorhees is a standout in the film. His imposing physical presence and menacing demeanor give life to the iconic horror villain. In terms of visuals and special effects, Friday the 13th Part 8 is a mixed bag. While some of the kills are creative and satisfyingly gory, others come off as lackluster or unintentionally funny. The film's budget constraints are apparent in some scenes, and the overall production value feels lacking compared to other entries in the franchise. That being said, there is a certain charm to Friday the 13th Part 8 that can't be denied. Fans of cheesy, campy horror films will likely find enjoyment in the movie's ridiculousness and over-the-top violence. The film doesn't take itself too seriously, and if you can appreciate it for what it is, there's fun to be had. In conclusion, Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan is a flawed but entertaining entry in the franchise. While it suffers from a weak story, forgettable characters, and inconsistent special effects, it's still an enjoyable watch for those who can appreciate the campy charm of 80s horror films. If you're a fan of the genre, it's worth a watch, just don't expect a masterpiece.